Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to another edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. And to my far right, we got Kevin Johnson, KJ, my main man. And today's special guest, man, we got a legend in the house tonight. This guy right here was one of the premier quarterbacks in the SEC in the late 90s. I mean, he led the team and a lot of passing yards. He's the reason for the dual quarterback at the Gamecocks. Could run it, could throw it, had a lot of stars around him. He also played in the NFL, the Cowboys, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bears. Played with a lot of teams and a lot of great athletes. Know this guy if you're from the area or if you've been watching football over the past 20 years. He's one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. He won the Super Bowl with the New York Giants. He goes by the name of Anthony Wright. What's good, Anthony?
Wright, what's up?
Thanks. Appreciate you guys having me on your show.
Yeah, so glad to have you, man.
No
it means a lot.
For the people that don't know you, Anthony, I don't know what planet they live on. Let them know where
there you go.
You're from and a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm from North Carolina. I'm from the eastern North Carolina. I went to a school by the name of West Craven. I graduated from high school in '94, and I came to South Carolina. I was in South Carolina from '94 to '98, and then from '98 to 2008, I played in the NFL. So that's a little background on kind of like where I'm from, and kind of like going to college and then going to the league.
Oh yeah, man. So what age did you start playing sports, and what sport was your first love?
Oh, well, coming up, I was a big Michael Jordan fan.
Oh, yeah.
Basketball.
Yep.
Go out in the yard.
Yeah, right, you know. But
yeah, tongue out all of it.
Yeah, listen, I had tongue out. I had the sleeve, the calf sleeve. I had the wristband on my forearm.
There you go.
Listen, I was doing it all. You know what I mean? I was trying to move like I'm trying to walk like I'm the whole nine. So I would say that that the basketball was probably my first love, and then I just enjoyed football. I enjoyed competition in general, and football. I just happened to be better at football, and so I just kind of I excelled in football and just kind of went from there. Really.
Hey, what position in both of them?
Well, in basketball,
I meant to say what position in basketball. That's what I meant to say.
Well, in basketball, I was like a point guard, and then when I first started out in football, I was playing tight end, and so I played a little tight end. And the reason why I started playing quarterback was, I never forget, I was in 7th grade, and we only had one team at my school in middle school, and so the 8th grade. With the 7th and 8th grade, the varsity defense needed a scout quarterback. And my cousin kind of promoted me as being the scout quarterback. And he was like, yeah, Ant can do it. And that's pretty much started my quarterback career. You know, I went out there and I did a scout team for the older guys in middle school, and ended up playing quarterback the rest of my life.
Wow.
I know.
So how you start, so how you finish. Yes, sir.
What's meant to be is meant to be, you know.
Hey,
you're right. You're right. So talk about the area you're from. Talk about a little bit about the community, the people that inspire you from there, coaches, family members, other athletes or teammates. Talk about your community a little bit and how you, grew up in North Carolina.
Well, I'm from a small town called Vanceboro. Not many people, but we have put out a lot of product there. We have put up a lot of NFL product. We had a guy by the name of Lee Beckton. He played in Notre Dame for a little while. Most recently, we had a guy by the name of Justin Hardy. He was a wide receiver for the Falcons for a little while. We had my cousin Jesse Campbell. He played for a while. We also had a couple other guys that played in the league for a while. So it's definitely a small town, but it's closely knit and very supportive. And thank God I had my mother and a father that really took care of me and that really supported me and really had my back, when I was trying to be successful. One of the more intricate stories about me is that I worked in the tobacco field as I was coming to school. Right, so middle school, high school, I worked in the tobacco field in the summer, and I was just telling some of the kids over at the school that I work at that I was waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was probably getting off work around 4:30 or 5. I was going home, take a shower, and then go to football practice at 6. And so that was kind of like my thing that I did. And I tell people all the time, like all I knew was go, right? I didn't know anything else. I just knew I had to go. And so I went to work. I knew I had to go. I went to football practice. I knew I had to go. And it wasn't nothing else. It wasn't no I'm tired or something like that. It was I got to go to work. I got to go to football practice. And so that was really like my foundation for being able to go through a lot of the things that I was able to go through and able to be successful in the NFL.
Yeah. Hey, what other role models you looked up to besides Michael Jordan? I know you talk about basketball. Do you have any role models in football also?
Oh yeah, I mean when I was coming up, initially, obviously Joe Montana was that guy.
Yeah,
so I was a big Joe Montana fan. I was a big John Elway fan. Actually, I wore number 7 in middle school to be like John Elway.
All right.
And then as I continued to, get older, I think at the time East Carolina was starting to pick it up the pace a little bit, and so I became a big Jeff Blake fan, and then I became a big Charlie Ward fan. Charlie Ward kind of took me into college. By the time I got to college, I had a big old poster of Charlie Ward in my locker, and he was, and so that was special for me because I was always a big fan of his, and so but those were pretty much my role models when it came to football.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Good. So you played tight end starting out, and you end up getting a nod as a scouting team quarterback.
Yeah.
Talk about your first start at quarterback, and what age were you?
My first start at quarterback came in middle school, actually.
All right.
When I played Pop Warner, I was tight end, and I was going into the 6th grade. The coach for junior Pee Wee was going to actually give me a chance to play quarterback. I think he was able to tell that I could throw the ball well from much just out there messing around, playing around.
Oh, yeah.
And so he gave me an opportunity to play quarterback in 6th grade. But when I got to the 6th grade, they ended up canceling Pop Warner football at that particular time. So I wasn't able to play. And so my first time really playing was probably 8th grade. And so 8th grade came along, and I was the quarterback because I had been running the scout team quarterback. And I just remember going in, and I wasn't really nervous. I knew my plays, and I knew what the coach wanted me to do. And to me, it was just competing and playing football. You know what I mean? But nowadays, though, it's a little bit more strenuous, especially from like my son or the kids that I know, because, I demand more of him than what I was being demanded of. You know what I mean? So it's a little different now for him, but he'll be much further along than I was because of it.
Yeah. Once you reached the high school level, did you play right away at the quarterback spot?
Yes. Well, I started on JV in my 9th grade year, and then I got moved up to varsity my 10th grade year. So my 10th grade year, I played varsity 10th, 11th, and 12th. And so going into my 12th grade year, I was the number 3 quarterback in the country, behind Peyton Manning and Josh Booty.
Ooh.
I didn't even know I was that good actually until I remember I was going to the graduation party for the seniors that was ahead of me. I was a rising senior, so I was going to their graduation, the seniors that had just graduated, and this guy walked into the hall, and he brought me this All-American book, this Max Prep book, and he showed me my name in his magazine, and it had me listed as a number 3 quarterback in the country behind those 2 guys. So that was really the first time that I really realized how good I really was at playing this game.
Man.
Other than
so I know, and then go ahead.
Other than that, I was really just having fun, competing, trying to, just trying to be the best that I could be with what I had.
Cool. So I know in the 90s, it was a lot of, in high school, middle school, a lot of run offenses. You playing football back then, what type of offense were you running? Option, or was it shotgun, or was it something totally different? I formation or pro set? Which one?
We ran the option. So triple option. Well, I don't think it was a triple option. It was a dive option. And so we ran a dive option, and I probably threw the ball 10, 15 times at most starting out. But for me, like I said, when I left out of high school, I really didn't know anything about coverages. You know, I got taught that when I was in college. And so that was important for me to have a college coach that was developed enough to be able to teach me coverages and teach me how to read defenses. So when I went to South Carolina, a guy by the name of Coach Reeves was hired. He's passed now, rest in peace. But he was hired, and he had played 10 years in the league. He had played at the University of Florida for a while. And he came in and he taught me coverages, man. He taught me how to read cover 2, cover 3, cover 6, cover 8, all these different coverages, and told me what the weaknesses were and how to attack them. And because of him, and I always tell people this to this day, because of him, I was able to play, in the NFL for as long as I did.
Oh yeah, cool. Hey, talk a little bit about the head coach at your high school.
Yeah, man, my head coach was he went to NC State, so he had a lot of NC State connections. He was very successful. We made it to the championship a couple times, but we never won it. But he was very successful. He's still there. He's still there coaching.
Oh wow!
Very appreciative of him giving me the opportunity to play. Because if he didn't give me the opportunity to play, then I won't be talking to you guys right now.
There you go.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So thankful for that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Talk about some of the competition in North Carolina that you played, some of the players that were, on that elite level that you had to face, and talk about, being able to run that option and drop back and pass and still improvise and read the coverage in high school without knowing the coverages back then. Like, talk about that. How difficult was that for you?
Well, New Bern High School was probably the high school that had to be dealt with in my area.
Okay.
And, running the option, you're not going to see many coverages. You know what I mean? You're pretty much going to see cover 0 or cover 1. So it's basically just one-on-one outside. So it's really not much to read because everybody's pretty much one-on-one. And so, that made it difficult for me when I was selected to the Shrine Bowl and when I was selected to the All-American Bowl that was in Pennsylvania. So when I went to the Shrine Bowl and I went to the All-American Bowl, I really struggled because I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know the coverages. I didn't know how to read them. And so I struggled in both of those games. So like I said, when I came to South Carolina and they had Coach Reeves there and he taught me the coverages, that's when I really kind of took off.
Okay.
So did you guys make it to the playoffs or deep in the playoffs in your region? Yes, we always went to at least the third round of the playoffs. But we always ran into Tarboro, and Tarboro was a tough team. They ran a triple option, right? And so it was like they were playing cards back there, and we never knew where the ball was. You tackled a quarterback and a fullback had it, tackled a fullback and a running back had it. You tackled the fullback and the tailback and the quarterback had it. So they always beat us with the triple option. We always had problems with that, and we never could make it past them. Okay. Did you ever play any defense coming up in high school? Did you play 2 ways or just one?
Yeah, I played defense one time. Yeah, I played safety. I played safety. Funny story about me playing defense. I'm back there playing safety. I'm back there playing safety.
That back pedal, man. What that back pedal look like?
I know back pedal. I was all downhill, man.
Okay. You say you was a boomer, KJ.
Oh, don't worry about it. It didn't last long. Last long. I came up to make a tackle. I came up to make a hit, and I hit this guy. And when I hit him, my right side of my arm went numb. And when the right side of my arm went numb, I knew I was done with playing defense. I was like, defense.
Hey, it's a tough man game, baby.
It's a tough man game. And that first stinger, you don't know what's going on, right?
Yeah, you don't know.
That's mine too.
Couldn't move my arm, I couldn't feel it, or I can't move it. I'm thinking to myself, I'm not playing no more defense, coach. You keep me on offense. Like, shake him and
Like, mess up that throwing on. Yeah.
Let me shake him and bake him. They ain't trying to do no tackling.
That's it. Offensive mindset. It's all good. Just go. You know, that's what you was growing up doing. Just go. You know, that's it.
Yeah.
So you went to the Shrine Bowl, you said, and go ahead, KJ.
Now you go. You got it.
You went to the Shrine Bowl, you said, and the All-American game. So talk about that experience, man. That had to be a great experience to go to both in your senior year. Not too many people get that opportunity.
Yeah, it was crazy because I started in both of them, and
wow,
I wasn't. I didn't. Like I said, I was just playing football. I didn't really have an education in football, and so I didn't really, like I said, I didn't know my coverages. I didn't understand what I was looking at. You know what I mean? I was just out there playing, having a good time. And then when you start playing in more organized settings, you have to really actually know the game of football. And so for me, when I played in the games, I remember leaving out of the games with a terrible feeling. Like I was like unsure feeling because, I went into those games and didn't play well. But in actuality, it was good because I learned from that. And I know now that I didn't know the game. And so it's part of my passion now is to try to teach these guys as much as I can teach them so that they ever get a chance to get to that point, that they'll have a better chance of being successful on those stages as opposed to myself.
Prepared, that's right. Yeah. So coming out of high school, what schools did you turn down and why you chose USC Gamecocks?
Well, I was getting recruited by a ton of different schools, and but mostly I was getting recruited by a lot of ACC schools. And so going to ACC schools back then, a stadium would hold at max 50,000, right? So at the max. And so I was brought to a North Carolina Florida State game by North Carolina, and they were packed out, about 50-some thousand people. And then South Carolina brought me to a South Carolina Clemson game. And so, mind you, I went to all ACC games and seeing all these different ACC games, and then I finally went to an SEC game. And so I stepped in the arena, and it is packed, right? It's packed. It's loud. There's more people than I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
The whole stadium is rocking.
You nervous, ain't you? You nervous?
Yeah. I'm in here like, is this real? Like this is real football? Like, this is how they do football?
Yeah, man. Big time.
And so at that point, I was like, okay, I know I want to play. I knew I wanted to play in the SEC because I didn't want to go to the ACC and be like a second rate with the football team. Because, ACC is basketball conference, right?
Yep. Back in that time, yep.
All right, that time.
Yeah.
Over there, you're going to be, if I go to North Carolina, it's going to be the basketball team and the football team, right? So, and so when I stepped onto the South Carolina campus and I was able to feel that energy and see the love that they have for that sport.
Yeah.
I was pretty much sold. But what really sold me, what really sold me was, I told you I was a Charlie Ward fan, right? I was a Charlie Ward fan, and I really wanted to be like Charlie. And they went and got Brad Scott. Brad Scott was the offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
Out at Florida State. And they went and got Brad Scott. And I wanted to run the Florida State offense. I didn't want to go to the ACC and run the option. So that pretty much sold it for me. Like, I knew I was going to South Carolina when they signed Brad. I'm a Charlie Ward fan. I wanted to run the fast break offense, and that did it.
Okay. So you get to Carolina. Go ahead. You get to Carolina on your visit, and you choose them. Who's the guy that showed you around campus and things of that nature? Who was that guy? Took you under their wing?
A guy by the name of Lee Wiggins. Lee Wiggins was, I think he was a year ahead of me. He was a DB, and took me around the campus. I didn't really do much though. I wasn't one of those guys that like to do a whole lot. I just lay low, but for the most part, we went around the dorm and met some of the older guys, and they greeted me, and I think we might have even went out to like a little party that night or whatever. But for the most part, like I said, I was just one of those guys that wanted to see the facilities, feel the atmosphere, see the stadium, and just be a part of that process. And so making the decision to go there, like I said, with Brad Scott coming in and having a chance to run our offense, that was like the key thing for me to make that decision to go to South Carolina.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you redshirt your first year.
Yes.
But when you finally got the opportunity to get on the field, man, how was it?
It was amazing, to be honest with you, because like I told you, after those All-Star games that I played in high school, there was a little hesitancy. I was kind of hesitant about, going and playing college football, because here I am. I played in these 2 All-American Bowls. I played in these 2 bowls, and
That's
I did.
right.
So I was kind of unsure of how it was going to turn out for me in college. But once I was able to get in and get settled down, and like I said, be taught the game of football and know where to go with the ball and know what I was looking at, it became easy. I became comfortable, and
Okay.
Once I got that part of the game down, once I got the knowledge part of the game down, and understanding what I was looking at, the game itself was just, football was still football. So
Okay.
Yeah.
one of those things.
So we got 1981 tight end Bubba Diggs say ACC had more draft picks in the day. Laugh out loud. Death Valley stayed deep as far as capacity. Come on, man. Laugh out loud. Enjoying the show, guys. So he's a former national champion, Bubba Diggs, tight end with Clemson University. He's just joking and picking with us.
Yeah.
Hey, good to see you, Bubba Diggs. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes,
everybody else watching, make sure you subscribe and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We have superstar, Super Bowl winning quarterback Anthony Wright from University of South Carolina Gamecocks. Go ahead, KJ.
Yeah, no, it's on you. You got it.
Okay, so let's talk about playing and learning the system behind Tannehill. I know you got there in '94. Tannehill just got the nod from another quarterback. He went 4-0 at first, and then he predicted that you guys weren't going to lose a game. He almost fulfilled that dream. He only lost 1 game. Talk about him and the excitement he brought to the school, because he was very animated on the field when you guys made big plays. So talk about that a little bit and the atmosphere in the Gamecock locker room during your tenure.
Well, I mean, when Tannehill was there, I was pretty much just learning from him. Like I said, I was a newbie. I was raw. I didn't know the game of football from a college standpoint, and so I was just kind of just watching him, seeing how he handled the media, just trying to learn as much as I could from him on how to deal with the things that I was dealing with, that I was going to be dealing with, and so but Tannehill was very outspoken. Like you said, he was animated. He enjoyed playing a game of football. When he did what he did, he let you know. He was flashy. And so, I was cool with it. I was cool with it. Like I said, my thing was to just learn from him as much as I could so that when my time came, I'd be prepared. Like I said, I was unsure. I didn't know what I was getting into. You stand on the sideline, especially as a freshman, and you watch these guys play, and you watch the speed of the game from the sideline, and you see the size of these guys, and you're looking like, wow, like I signed up for this, right? Like this is what I signed up for. And then as you get older and you start getting more experience and you start to do it a little bit yourself, that confidence comes, and that's kind of what happened for me. I just watched Tannehill, and I was like, okay, if Steve can do it, I can do it. I just gotta try to just take bits and pieces from him, and then just add it to my game, and then when my chance comes, I'll see what I can do.
And they talk about the importance of having a good offensive line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
so you have enough time to throw, all those different things.
Yeah, a quarterback can't do anything without his offensive line, right? So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how
good you are. Yep.
You gotta have an offensive line, and if you don't have an offensive line, you're probably not gonna be successful. So, I have a good offensive line for a few years while I was there, and playing in the SEC is tough, man, because you're playing against gorillas every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the teams that you think you can take a break on.
They coming, baby.
Yeah, you might slip up and get beat. You know what I mean? Like Vanderbilt or somebody like that. You think, okay, I got Vanderbilt. At the time, Kentucky's good now, but when I was there, you look at Kentucky like it's a possible win. You know what I mean? But when you look at their schedule, and at the time you had Tennessee, you had Florida, you had Auburn, You was playing all killers week after week. Like, and you're looking on your schedule, and you're trying to find that easy win.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You know, we had Orange Crush Month, right? So, like, I think in November, we'd play Tennessee, we'd play Florida, and then we'd play Clemson. Like, I don't know who it was that set the schedule up, but that was the craziest schedule in the world. We'll play Tennessee, and then we'll play Clemson. Like, that's crazy.
Wow, man.
So basically, you face Little at Tennessee, then you come to face Javon Curse, and then you come face Brian Dawkins.
Yes. Yeah. Whoever the AD was at the time, he should have been kicked in the rear end. Because the funny thing about it though is they didn't change it. They didn't change it until I think Spurrier changed it, or I think Lou Holtz changed it. But one of them eventually got in there and was like, "No, we're not going to play Clemson." And then play Clemson after we just played Tennessee and Florida.
I'm gonna need some rest, man.
We beat up, we hurting, yeah.
We run into a brick wall too.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I mean, those teams like were winning the national championship at that time. It was Florida, the Tennessee.
On high levels, man. Yeah, T. Martin.
High levels.
Yeah. They had Peyton Manning. They had all those boys. Like, Tennessee was good.
Yeah. Danny Warfel at Florida.
Florida was good. They had Danny Werfel at the time. They were
Taylor.
So, and then, Clemson is always a rival game. So it's like, it doesn't matter the record. The record is.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's crazy.
Yeah. So you made it through that era of football, man, and that was very exciting to see, as a high school student, following you. One of my favorite quarterbacks in college, Charlie Ward, Tony Rice, Frazier, a lot of great quarterbacks during that time, dual threats that can do it all. Talk about the coaching style of Brad Scott and what he brought to the Gamecocks.
Well, Brad was a good recruiter. He knew how to recruit players. And so, when I came to South Carolina, like I told you, the key for me was that he was running the Florida State offense. And I felt like my best chance of playing in the NFL was to be able to pass the ball. And I felt like I didn't want to go to an ACC school where I was going to be out there like running an option or not throwing the ball that much. And so, he came in with his offense. I felt like he was a good leader. I felt like he led as well. He did the best he could. We just didn't get enough talent. It's hard in the SEC. It's hard.
It is.
It's hard, trying to compete with those guys week after week. And you got to bring in the kind of talent that can do that. And we just never really had enough talent to be able to compete with those guys on a consistent basis. And so, that was one of the disappointing things about, his tenure, is that we didn't get a chance to, or he didn't get a chance to really do what he could have done if he'd have had the right kind of talent.
I understand.
So,
but you guys did have some notable stars on your team, like Terry Cousins, Tua Freeman, yourself, Deuce Staley, Stanley Pritchard. Talk about Toby Cates and Bridges. Talk about all those guys, man. Those guys, Bridges was the fastest guy in the SEC at that time. So talk about those guys and playing with those guys and what they brought to the table that made you better.
Well, those guys were older than me, so I was always trying to pick up tidbits of information from them on how to prepare.
Yeah, like a little brother. Yeah, I got you.
Like a little brother. I was just trying to pick up information, asking them questions, watching them, you know what I mean, and just trying to figure out my way. Like I said, this was my first time. I didn't really have anybody that really showed me the ropes or tell me about the ropes. So I was looking up to those guys as, what can I get from T-Watt? What can I get from, I don't know, what can I get from Tannehill, or what can I get from these guys that, I need to know so I can be a good college football player, right? Whether it's the work ethic, whether it's how many times they're going to the gym, whether it's Terry Cousins and those guys running track, during, after football season, which I think is important now. Like all that stuff is little tidbits of information or things that you see them do. They're like, okay, I gotta try to run some track, at some point, so I gotta work on my speed. Or this guy's working out twice a day, so I want to make sure I give me two or three times a day. Stuff like that. Like I even listen to like if you listen to Kobe Bryant, when Kobe Bryant talks about, him waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning and going and working out, coming back, going to work out again, come back relaxed, going to work out again. He figures if he does this consistently over a amount of years, that he's that much further along than the average person that's training. So, you picking up, bits and pieces of information like that from those guys. I'm looking at those guys. I'm trying to see what they're doing. How much treatment is he getting? How much film study is he doing? Is he doing enough or is he not doing enough? Stuff like that, and just try to add it to my game.
Oh yeah. Hey, what favorite route you like to throw, man? Was it a deep ball or post corner?
Man, I always like to go down the field, man. Like I like to get chunks of yardage. I was never one of those dink and dunk guys and take forever to get down the field. It's like me, I get 15 yards here. I want to get 20 yards there. And the next thing you know, we're already in your territory. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, you ain't wasting no time.
Yep. I'll get down there and get it right now. You know what I mean? Like my thing, having a chance to go down the field, man. If I could go down the field, that was the best thing for me.
That's right, man.
There you go. So during the Gamecock tenure, did you play in any bowl games besides the CarQuest Bowl?
CarQuest Bowl was the only bowl I played in. We could have made it my junior year, but I got hurt. My sophomore year, we could have made it, but I think Tennessee ended up losing to some no-name team. They ended up pushing them down. They ended up kicking us out. So then my senior year wasn't a good year. So I missed 2 years that we could have went, but one was injury and another one was just being unfortunate.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Cool. Well, we got some highlights, man. It's against Tennessee. You guys playing Peyton Manning at the time. I think you guys was home.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a lot of weapons, Nash, Peerless Price, some speedsters back there.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and take a look at it. For you guys that's watching, make sure you subscribe on YouTube and make sure you follow us on Facebooks and Spotify and Deezer. All right?
Thank you.
Here we go.
Al Wilson has moved to the right linebacker position. And here comes the pressure from Lillard. There's the pitch slant. Now they're going to throw. Copeland, a former quarterback. At the 36-yard line.
Well, you got a lot of people in the box.
Lewis, touchdown, Tennessee. Kelly in motion. Wright in trouble. Down he goes. Ball is loose. They'll rule him down at the 16-yard line. Jonathan Brown, number 91, the senior from Washington High School. Out of the hold of Vincent Scott. And it is right through the uprights. No problem this time, either with the snap or the possible hold. And an appreciative Jeff Hall. Little showing blitz. Here it comes from Wilson. Down he goes.
Tim, the play took much too long with Tennessee.
Blitz. Jonathan Brown. To Anthony Wright. Manning again. Wide open. That's Bryson. To the 41-yard line of South Carolina. Sean Bryson, Jr.
And now he's back on the field.
Anthony Wright in trouble. And down he goes. Al Wilson, and he is wreathing in pain now.
Yes, he's hurt again. Now he's holding his right knee. Spirited defense.
Jamal Lewis steps to midfield. That's a 14-yard gain. First down, Tennessee. It was his son, Jeff. More on him in a bit. There's Jamal Lewis. Right up the middle. Down to the 10.
Defense can only play with so much spirit. You've got to take the pressure off with offense. Tennessee is putting more pressure on the defense as Jamal Lewis just bursts up the middle with that.
Scott, I'll call it a 34-yard attempt. They boot this one, and it is right through. They have to settle for 3 one more time. Jeff Hall from Winchester, Tennessee, is in the air, has been turning to Jamal Lewis for the brunt of the offensive responsibility. Over the middle, that's complete to Copeland. Down to the 30-yard line.
There's just no way you can move the football.
Lewis has 141 yards on the ground. He gets another carry. Look out! Jamal Lewis down the sideline, touchdown!
Well, I want to tell you, there may have been a flag on this. There may not have been a flag, but I looked down and Spencer Riley got a block in the back right there. You see Spencer Riley, number 68, kind of twisting him around, but they got away with it. And look at the results. Jamal Lewis down the sideline. Just keeps that balance. Boy, he is a game breaker.
Victor Payne sacked back at the 12-yard line, and they're teeing off on him now. Jonathan Brown, Leonard Wood.
What a spirited defensive play he's had.
There's a quick reverse off the quick snap. Nothing doing for Kerry Hood. You just can't run wide on this Tennessee defense, whether they have their second or third unit in or their first. The announcers for Tennessee's offensive output today, and that will be addressed by former athlete. Snap gets away from Penn. Now Little is after him, or has him.
Tim, you're seeing what the result of not taking a lot of snaps from center is. And that's not really Victor Penn's fault as much.
That's a big game today.
Well, I realize that, but if you're Philip Fulmer, you don't pad your stats. You play to win.
That will pad the rushing yardage. Levine inside the 35 to the 32.
They've been successful with the run, and that's why you run them.
Yes, sir.
All right. I figured somebody must have pushed the wrong.
Huh?
It must have been the wrong highlight.
Man, Tennessee. Man, hey, listen. Tennessee was crazy back then, man. I put that highlight up, didn't look at it all the way through, but however, man, I just wanted to make sure that I cover the competition that y'all played that year and during that time. That defense, because it goes along with the storyline you was talking about South Carolina and how you guys were outmanned at that time with the SEC. Tennessee was very, very good, and also Georgia. A lot of good players was out there, man, and you guys didn't have a lot of time back there. Talk about that frustrating time back there with the Gamecocks playing against Tennessee, because it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, man, it was tough, man. It was tough. It was just they were a good team. They were fast. They were physical. They did a good job of corralling us with their speed and with their strength. So, just one of those games where you just like, they just had more talent than we did, and it showed.
All right, cool. So you leave South Carolina, you go as an undrafted free agent. Talk about your process and getting ready for the NFL.
I went to the combine, did well at the combine. Then I waited for the draft. When the draft day came, I got picked up by Pittsburgh. Did a couple years with Pittsburgh. Then I did a couple years with Baltimore with the Cowboys, and then I was able to go to the Baltimore and do about 4 or 5 years of Baltimore. Then I did 1 year with Cincinnati, and then I finished off my career with the Giants.
Okay. All right. So talk about playing with Dallas a little bit. You played with arch rival Quincy Carter. You know, at Dallas. Talk about that atmosphere playing for Jerry Jones.
Playing for Jerry was interesting. He's a businessman. You know, out of all the organizations that I played for, that would probably be the least one that I enjoyed, to be honest with you. But for the most part, you know, I mean, you know, I'm appreciative that I was able to play for him because that's where I got my first start. You know, I mean, first start came the Cowboys, and then I was able to kind of like use that to boost myself to go play for other teams.
All right. I got more highlights for you, Anthony, man. Don't get down real quick. I got some more highlights for you. You playing with different teams. You went around the league, just like you said, the Bengals, Pittsburgh, Dallas, Ravens. Let's check out some of your overall highlights in the NFL before we go look at the Super Bowl, okay?
All right.
Wright. First down and 10.
Anthony Wright. Remember him with the Bears a few years ago? Marcus Cuckoo, Mr.
Emergency quarterback is Randall Cunningham. Wright going deep, way down, and it is caught by James McKnight.
Run, perhaps still the best guard in the National Football League. And Wright on first down to throw. And he is Dennis Smith coming out of the backfield.
Keep you updated later. Back up to you, Kenny and Tim.
All right, thanks, DJ. So Anthony Wright in the game at quarterback, going deep on his first play. It's a touchdown to Joey Galloway.
Wright launches it again. This time for Todd. You know the thing about this is where's Todd been for a while, and then here he is tonight. Look at this ball. This ball was thrown absolutely.
From another concussion. Blitz coming. Right still with good protection.
And he has the brain to get up and go 43 for the
His arm. Does a nice job of firing this rocket. That's why this man's going to the Pro Bowl.
A strong arm in South Carolina.
Quarterback on the roster, and that's athletic ability to get outside. Orlando Brown, his right tackle.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back.
That one. I like that one.
Yeah,
Me
man.
too.
You know, you
Right.
talked about getting hurt,
I
man.
like that
Talk
one
about
too.
the process. How you bounced back from that injury, man. I watched that game. I was mad because I wanted y'all to beat Tennessee real bad that game. But you bounced back and had a great career, man, like it never happened. I mean, your arm got stronger. You were still mobile. Talk about that rehab process and getting there to the NFL.
It's just a part of just trying to get back healthy, and when it happened, I was upset, but you can't just sit there and waddle in pity. Have pity for yourself all the time. So I just got back to work as soon as I could, and I actually had my surgery again when I was in the league. When I went back to the Cowboys, they had to redo my knee and retie my ACL down. So when I was with them, I was able to get it straightened out, and that pretty much lasted me until I finished in the NFL. But the rehab itself was tough, but at the same time, like I said, it was just part of me just trying to get back so I can get back on the field. So I had to do what I had to do.
There you go. What was it like playing under Bill Cowher?
It was pretty good, actually. He's a very team-oriented guy. He takes care of his players. He sets his boundaries. He sets his structure, and you just follow it. As long as you do what you're supposed to do, you're gonna be in good hands. So he's one of those kind of guys that I could work for any day.
Okay, cool. And what about Tom Coughlin?
Same thing for him. He was the same way. He set his boundaries. He set his rules. And you just follow his rules. One of the things that a couple of the guys didn't really get along with was the whole 5-minute rule. He was like always 5 minutes ahead of the real time. But I didn't. Again, if that's how he wants to play this game, I could do that. I have no problem with it. And so I didn't have a problem with Coach Coughlin. I actually love the guy.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
And so when you was playing quarterback, who was the best defensive backs out there at the time when you was playing?
Oh yeah, obviously, one of the highlights you showed, I was able to complete a pass on Dion. So I bombed Dion a couple times, and I reminded him of that when I played with him in Baltimore too. And so,
hey, got you, Dion, got you.
Right, same game. But man, Dion was on that team. Champ Bailey was on that team. Fred Smoot, Darryl Green played against.
Wow.
I
played against a bad dude.
Yeah, I played against some of the best, and I was able to. In the highlight again, you saw I completed a pass against Charles Wilson.
Well, one of the best Hall of Fame inducted this year.
So a touchdown with him. So but when you're out there playing, man, for the most part, you're not really thinking about that, man. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
The reason why I threw that pass on Dion was because we had go routes on outside. And Dion was pressed, and Champ was off at about 8-9 yards. And I don't like throwing go routes versus off coverage because
there you go.
It's kind of hard to judge, right? And so it's easier to judge going against Dion. And so, I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed playing against the best.
There you go. Good, man. Cool, man. So you get to New York with Coughlin. You're behind Eli, man.
Yes.
And then talk about Eli's preparation. Since you played against his brother, ranked 3 in the nation in high school, played against him at Tennessee. Now you playing on a team with his younger brother. Talk about playing on that offense with Plexico Burris, Tyree, and also Brandon Jacobs and those guys.
I feel like we had a solid offense. We just was thorough all the way through. We had a big playmaker with Plex. I had a Monty Toomer who was a possession guy. You had running backs with Brandon and Bradshaw, and then you had a good guy, a great quarterback in Eli who could manage the team well, who knew his stuff and who knew what to do with the ball, know how to get in and out of plays, and so that's kind of what made us tick. And I think when we won the Super Bowl, we got hot at the right time, and we gained confidence at the right time. I think
you guys was a wild card, right?
Yeah, we were a wild card. We went all the way through. Yeah, we started out in Tampa first. We went to Tampa, then we went to the Cowboys, then we went to Green Bay, and then we went to the Super Bowl.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're gonna go ahead. That takes us into the highlight for the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and check that out real quick. Congratulations on your ring. All the hard work paid off.
Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
Well, here are the New England Patriots, one win away from the second perfect season in NFL history, taking on a Giants team that started 0-2 this season, winners of 10 straight on the road, and they come rolling into this game with a lot of confidence. Tynes will try from 32. Good snap. Good hold and a good kick. Maroney right side. Touchdown, New England.
Kyle Brady was able to shield him just enough, and then some tough running by Lawrence Maroney.
2nd and 3. Play action. Over the middle. Touchdown Giants. David Tyree.
Watch where Eli Manning's able to put this throw. Anything less than a perfect throw there could very easily have been intercepted.
It's 3rd down and goal. Brady throws. Moss. Touchdown.
Corey Webster was in trouble as soon as he started backpedaling off the line of scrimmage. They doubled Wes Welker on the inside, and they left Corey Webster one-on-one on Randy Moss. And it just wasn't a match.
3rd down and 5. Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet. Airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
Oh, my God. This ball's thrown, and Tyree just goes up for it like a basketball player. Harrison trying to knock it down. And Eli, man, I don't know how he got out of there. I thought he was on the ground, and then he came out of the pile and just slings it. That's a great catch by David Tyree.
And now with 59 seconds left, the Giants needing a touchdown. 39 seconds left. Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Take a look at this route here by Plexico Burris. A great job. Ellis Hobbs in coverage. He starts to the inside just enough to sell the slant, and then he goes to the corner, and it worked beautifully. Eli Manning puts a little pump fake on him to get him to bite, and then goes to the corner.
The Giants have won the Super Bowl. It will go down as one of the biggest upsets in Super Bowl history as the Giants win it by 3.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You did get in that game, but I couldn't find the clips. Talk about that experience, man, and that catch. You being on the sideline, you playing the Super Pats in 2008. They loaded with Randy Moss at wide receiver. I mean, that wasn't fair, man. You got 2 GOATs on one team, and they throwing it to each other. I mean, they had 50 touchdowns.
You know what's crazy, man? What really propelled us in that game was we played them the last game of the season, and we almost beat them.
Oh.
Yeah, we almost beat them the last game of the season, and they snuck out with a win. And I think that was a victory for us. Actually, I think that was the ultimate victory for us because we were able to use that to give us the confidence we needed to play them in the Super Bowl. So when we played them the last game of the season, like I said, man, we took them to the wire, and they were trying to go 17-0, and that game was the game that they were able to do it with. And so us actually giving them some legit competition, I think gave us the confidence that we needed to beat them in the Super Bowl.
All right, cool.
So,
so what
work, right?
Hey, so what happened after the Super Bowl, man? I know y'all had some fun,
man.
The parade and everything was. Hey.
Man, we had parties everywhere, man. There were parties everywhere. You know what I mean? You know what? It was so many parties. You didn't know which party to go to.
Wow.
Like you got stuck on which party you wanted to go to. Like you didn't know if you wanted to stay at the hotel you was at. You didn't know if you wanted to go out in the streets.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. It was jumping. It was crazy. It was unreal. It happened too fast. Like even the helmet catch. Like when it happened, you don't really have a chance to enjoy it because we were on the sideline trying to hurry up and get another play in.
Yep.
We're on the sideline yelling, to get another play in so that they won't review it.
Yep.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
When they review it, it's like, you have a little time to like, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? You kind of like trying to figure out if he caught it. But ultimately, man, I think that I think that that was probably one of the greatest Super Bowls ever.
It was
definitely one of the greatest catches ever, for sure.
I'm telling you,
yeah. They were trying to catch the 72 Dolphins that year. That was the only game they lost.
Yes, 18-1, baby. 18-1.
Man, and y'all beat them by 3 points, man. And from a wild card standpoint, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's hard to do. And go in Lambeau on the road, everywhere.
Oh,
yes, we went to Tampa.
That's hard to do.
Went to Tampa.
After football, go ahead.
No, I was saying we went to Tampa Cowboys, and we went to Green Bay.
Man, that's hard to do. How was it like playing on Dallas, your former team, when you got to New York in the playoffs, going to Dallas?
Man, I was acting a fool out there, man. Listen, every time we threw a completion, I was almost halfway to the field. I was almost on the start. You know, I almost walked down the star a couple times just to make sure Jerry saw me. I want to make sure you see me. I know where you're at. I know what suite you're in. I'm gonna make sure I point to your suite too.
Yes, sir. Yeah, hey, all you have to do is show them that ring on their finger, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look,
they haven't had one in such a long time.
Hey, man, it's been almost 30 years now.
But I will say, good. They look good right now, though.
They do.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
They look
that
pretty
boy
good
Diggs
now.
is something serious. Have you seen a cornerback play like that?
Yeah, Diggs. Yeah, Diggs is real.
Yeah, he's the truth.
I always tell DBs, man, the best DBs I know have great hands.
Yeah,
they have great. I don't know why people say, that's why, you know, when a guy drops a ball or something, they're like, that's why he plays DB. I'm like, nah, great DBs have great hands.
Yes, sir.
Like,
yes, sir.
Y'all talking.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah.
So in the NFL, who was the hardest cornerback to get the pass over?
I mean, the hardest cornerbacks to play against will be a guy like Asante Samuels or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Those guys are like
his son playing for the Rams now.
Yeah. They'll lull you to sleep. Those are the ones you got to worry about. Like the guys that you know going to jump routes, you don't have to worry about them because I know they're going to jump routes. Or, I mean, the guys that just play straight up great defense, man-to-man, kind of like Darrelle Revis.
There you go. Yeah.
I mean, you just stay away from them altogether. But the guys that are scary, like the guys that are really scary, are those guys that lull you to sleep, that give you that hitch, all game. You get comfortable. And then you get into the fourth quarter with the game on the line, and you go to throw that hitch, and he break it on to pick it off. Those are the ones that scare you. Those guys
them too many times.
Yeah, those are the guys that really scared me the most. You know what I mean? I really hate playing against those guys that would give it to you, then you think you got it, and now they jumping it.
Yeah, touchdown.
Making you the whole time.
Because as soon as you
part of their game plan.
Yeah, as soon as you do that, as soon as they jump it, your mind is going the rest of the game as a quarterback.
Oh yeah.
So you're scared. You're afraid. You're thinking about, okay, is he going to jump it? Is he not going to jump it? A guy that's going to jump every route, he's easy. We're just going to double move him. I'm going to double move him eventually. But a guy give it to me. I think I got it. Now all of a sudden he's jumping it. Because he's going to do it. Because he's going to do it at the right time.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And when he does it, it's going to be game time. So it's like, there is no redemption.
Yep. McAllister was like that for the Ravens.
Yeah, Chris was that way. Yes, he was.
Arizona. Yes, he was. He was solid. I liked him.
Yeah, he was solid. He really was.
Todd Heap, he was a big target for you. Talk about throwing the ball to him, man. You gave him a lot of love out there with the Ravens.
Yeah, Todd was obviously I think he's going to be a Hall of Famer. A big target, great hands, knew his position, knew his routes. Somebody he was like my security blanket, to be honest with you. We even split him out wide. We would split him out wide and run him down the field because he was that good.
One-on-one, he was that good. Yep.
Yeah, that good. He could go up and get the ball against any safety, So anytime I wide, we would put him out wide and run wide receiver routes like bang gates and go routes and comebacks and stuff that most of the wide receivers run. He could get out wide and do that, and that's how good. You know what I mean? So a lot of tight ends can't do that, but he was that good.
Yeah. So you also play with Joey Galloway with the deep ball. He had burners. I know you love that because you said you like to throw it long. Talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Joey was fast, bro. Like, Joey was fast. But I will say this about Joey. His hands were 50-50. His speed was 100, but his hands was 50-50. Wow. I'm telling you right now.
Okay. You had Rocky Ishmael at the other end, at split end. Talk about him a little bit. Notre Dame legend.
Yeah, he was wiry, fast and wiry. He could contort his body in the many different angles and in different ways. But the hard worker, you know what I mean? I really like the Rocket. I really like it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Probably I will say this though, you know, Mr. Bennett, we're talking about this. The most underrated receiver that I played with, that probably one of the best in the league, was Derek Mason. And I played with him my last year in Baltimore. And he was probably the most underrated receiver I've ever played with. And right now to this day, if I had out of all the guys that I played with, if I had to take a guy to be one of my starters, he would be one of them.
Okay. Wasn't he from Tennessee Titans?
He played for the Titans for a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he played there for most of his career, to be honest with you. Played with Steve McNair for most of his career.
Yeah. Nice. Rest in peace, Steve McNair, another gunslinger. Alcorn State University, man. I mean, awesome guy. Could throw that thing. I mean, he was a fighter. He was a hard-nosed quarterback. Could take the hit and get up and throw it again, man.
Yes.
Yep. So, man, so what message do you have for the youth today? Anybody that's playing quarterback on any level, what's your message for guys? Because I know the NFL has changed a whole lot since you've been playing. The rules are different. You can't do certain things to the quarterback they used to do to you or you guys back in your era. Talk about the youth coming up today and how the game has changed versus when you played.
Well, you know, the thing that I always tell every quarterback that I train and that I talk to is, you know, the most important part about playing this position is the ability to throw the ball. And, you know, they're going to always be a fad that comes into the league. But the thing that's going to always stay with you and that's going to always last for this position is your ability to throw the ball straight and throw it accurately. So, you know, that's the thing that I would harp on with anybody that's trying to play this position, is to learn how to throw the ball first, learn how to throw it accurately. And if you can do that, then you can add the other things. You know, all the other intangibles, add those to your game after that. But learn how to throw the ball first. And then you can add the running and you add all the other stuff that's necessary.
Cool. Sure. So South Carolina got Texas A&M this weekend, man. Doughty has to have foot surgery. And, you know, number 8 is the starter. I mean, I think he's a better quarterback. I think Doughty might be a better athlete. What's your perspectives on this week's game right now?
I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game. We're talking about playing against Texas A&M. Texas A&M is rolling right now. And, now we're struggling a little bit. We're trying to find an identity offensively. Hopefully, this new guy can come in and give us a spark that we need. Give us a little bit of a spark at least. But like I said, once again, we're playing in the SEC, man, and there are no slouches. And each week's gonna be a dog fight, you know. And hopefully, in one of these games, man, we can pull up an upset. I mean, at the end of the day, we got to play the game. You know what I mean? And they got to play it. We got to play it. And we can see who's standing tall after 60 minutes.
There you go.
Never know. You know what I mean? Any given.
Yeah. So
let the people know.
Life after football. Talk about life after football. What's going on now?
doing some coaching over here at my local high school.
Okay.
Just helping out with them and just trying to help these kids with the knowledge of the game, with the experience that I've had, and just passing it along to them. So I'm over here coaching at Cox Mill High School here in Charlotte.
All right.
Okay.
Congratulations on that.
Man, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yep. So being a coach right now and actually passing that knowledge down, I know it's empowering. Do you have a lot of camps that you facilitate? And if you do, let the people know the information that they can get, the information they need in order to sign up or anything like that.
Well, I'm not doing any camps and stuff right now. As a matter of fact, I'll be going to an HBCU All-Star game in December. Actually, that it's going to be in Selma, Alabama. Be the first one, and so that'd be like my thing that I'm going to try to get back involved with, helping even these collegiate athletes that are trying to go to the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Just trying to pass along my information to them, and then letting them run with it. So, but I'm not doing any camps. I'm not doing anything like that. I just do my high school coaching, and then, like I said, a little bit of the All-Star game coaching, and that's just about it. To be honest with you.
All right.
Speaking of HBCUs, one of your former teammates is coaching at Jackson State, Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Talk about how he's doing there and how he's turning the program around, trying to give him that national exposure on the HBCU level.
I mean, I think it's good. I think it's about time that somebody stepped up and gave the HBCUs their props. And I'm appreciative of the fact that he's able to do that. And hopefully, his success continues with that endeavor.
Oh, yeah. Hey, before we head out, you have any shout outs for any family members, players, coaches?
Now, shout out to everybody. Just shout out to everybody that's listening, that checked in, that took the time to check this podcast out. And I'm just appreciative of your time, and I'm appreciative you guys having me up here. I really appreciate it. And
Big Pen, thank you, man.
Yeah, man. So
Yes,
just
sir.
shout out to everybody that's watching and to you guys, really.
All right, thank you, man.
Well, we appreciate it, Anthony Wright, one of my favorite college quarterbacks of all time. Him, Charlie Ward, Tommy Frazier.
Thank you.
It's a lot more out there, man. But I had fun in interview you. I never knew this day would happen. I appreciate you coming on the show. For real, we'd love to have you back on, my brother.
Thank you.
For everybody that's watching, thank you for tuning in. You have tuned into another edition of the Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Coulter. And to my far right, my main man, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And today we'd like to thank special guest, former All-ACC quarterback, Anthony Wright, Super Bowl champion, and now current coach. All right? Let's take them to the next level, Anthony. Let's get those guys right back there, man. Congratulations on everything you've done, and we love to have you back on, all right?
All right,
you guys out there, make sure you wear your mask, stay safe, and it's not how you start, it's how you what, Anthony?
How you finish, baby.
That's it.
That's right.
I'm out.
Yo.
Dang, he went out quick.